Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we'll be local nursery plant shopping at Plants and Planters in Richardson, Texas. As always, please make sure you hit the like button for this video, as well as follow me on Instagram at Growfolds. That's the fastest way to get in touch with me directly. I love connecting with all of my plant foldies, and if you are new to my channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. This is about 2 days before Thanksgiving, and I haven't been to Plants and Planters in a while, and I do feel bad because I love Plants and Planters. It is one of the oldest nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It is in Richardson, Texas. It is one of the plant nurseries that I would even consider as iconic because it has been around for several decades. I love Plants and Planters, especially since they had this amazing indoor tropical greenhouse. A really good friend of mine, Shelly, I love how she has really run this nursery for several years, and today I am just going to go out here and take a look at a lot of the plants that they have. You can see that they have a lot of these holiday type plants coming in, as well as Japanese maples, outdoor plants that they have in this section. You can see right over here too. I love Japanese maples, by the way. This one is an Acer palmatum Emperor 1. I just haven't had a chance to go to Metro Maples, which is another Japanese maple nursery that I definitely want to feature. If I don't make it in by this fall, I will definitely go out in the spring. And then you can see right over here, we've got some cyclamen for $8.99. Cyclamen tend to come out in a lot of big box stores or local nurseries like Plants and Planters, especially when it is in the colder months of the year. Really love that. And you can see that they have some more of these Acer palmatum or Japanese maples. Really love the look of that. That is another type of plant that I grow out in my backyard. And as far as Thanksgiving, I know that I'm premiering this on Thanksgiving Eve. I did want to just be thankful for all of the blessings I've received this year. Super thankful that I've had so many amazing plant foldies. I've met some amazing people, and I'm just really thankful for my health, where I am in life, and I hope to continue to just be thankful and grateful each and every day. You know, it's one of those things where sometimes we take for granted of the things that we have on a daily basis. I am just really thankful that I've had some really good health this year. You know, I turned 42 this year, and in terms of just my family, having such a strong support system, and also just having an amazing plant foldy community. Thank you so much for all those people that have given me a lot of love and support. Know that I will continue to make plant shopping videos on a daily basis, or at least attempt to, but also just want to say thank you because you guys make this actual plant YouTube channel possible. The amount of growth we've received over the past year has just been stunning and amazing. You catch yourself like looking at social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, about what trending plants are there. So like say there's like a new plant release, all of a sudden you already have all of these plants. Exactly. But then you want to go ahead and add that variegated monstera or just some new release.
I'm much better with it now.
He has allocations. He's got an allocation.
He has the magic touch then.
Either the magic touch or
he has
something.
a
He has a poly, an allocation poly. No spider mites. He doesn't really
that so
water it,
fast.
and it's in like a overlooked plants. They also have another common trait. They're cost effective.
Yeah.
The price is right for the majority of us, unless you're one of those folks that can, you know, drop $1,000 on a variegated whatever
Which
Which I
plant.
could do that. A lot of the plants that we think are specialty plants here are technically not.
And for those that are new to the channel, that is the trailer for the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast hitting YouTube on December 9th, 7:30 Central Standard Time. I am so thankful to have met Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants. You know, our stories of meeting each other has just been really awesome. You know, I used to watch, well, I still watch Janae Simone's YouTube channel. I ended up actually finding her at Rubal's when I first started making YouTube channels. And then, you know, Steven, he is a plant foldy that, you know, reached out to me, and we actually did a meetup at plant keeper in Dallas, Texas. And so it's just really interesting how all of us are interconnected in some form or fashion. You know, the plant community is very much so a close-knit, very small community, and I've just met some amazing people. And as I look at all of the holiday decor, you know that Thanksgiving is today. I cannot tell you how thankful I am to just be able to make this type of content, to really strive to be a better person in terms of just being somebody who takes care of plants, somebody that is continuing to learn about plants, and just somebody that it can be inspiring. You know, all of these stories that you guys given me, all of the feedback you've given me in terms of how I have maybe given you guys a little bit more company, how you watch my plant shopping videos when you're doing plant chores, and how it's really kept me grounded in terms of just having more routines, solid routines about plant care. There are so many benefits to growing plants. And I would just say not only just growing plants, but also growing as an individual. I think plants, hold us accountable to being better people, whether it's just having those small acts of kindness. I also wanted to thank, the plant foldie that left a $30 gift card at Peta's Planters. You already know it's Empty Nest on Instagram. Thank you so much. I know that we've run into each other at plant shows, as well as taking photos together. So you already know that, what I look like. And my face reveal has always been a face reveal whenever we see each other on those plant shows. But as far as plants and planters, I'm just really thankful. I'm probably saying that quite a bit of times, but just really thankful to see that this nursery is still around. It is one of the most iconic nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth areas. I highly recommend following them as well on Instagrams at Plants and Planters. And if you are ever in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you ever feel like you are going to be visiting the Dallas-Fort Worth area, please put Plants and Planters as a bucket list. And for those that are in the Dallas-Fort Worth areas, please check out Plants and Planters. You will be seeing some amazing plants today. I mean, you can see that they've already got the Christmas/Thanksgiving cactus. Really love the look of that. And you know what? I feel like I need to go buy a Christmas cactus at some point because it is one of those plants that I've realized is actually fairly easy. A lot of people actually grow them. They're more of an heirloom type plant that's actually passed on from generation to generation. A lot of people say that they either receive their Christmas cactus from a family member, particularly a grandmother. And that's another thing I am thankful about, is the fact that my grandmother will be turning 90 this year. Her health and all of the blessings that she's received over the 9 decades she's lived. I hope someday that I will also be blessed to live that long and still have such a good quality life. And, she always tells me that a lot of times her health is really attributed to just growing plants. And I truly believe it, because she is an amazing woman. And if you haven't seen any of my videos featuring her, please definitely check it out. You will learn a lot from her and just the passion she has around plants, but more so just being the leader of our family. It's just an amazing story. And I hope to get for you guys to get to know my grandmother a little bit better. I know that I'm probably not talking nearly as much about the plants that are being shown on this video, and you'll have to excuse me just a little bit, because I am trying to utilize this plant YouTube channel as being more of a personal blog as well. I want to pivot a little bit more so for those that do want to get to know me as a person. I know you haven't seen me, most people haven't seen me in person, or I'm going to remain faceless for now, but at least getting to know the voice behind the plant videos. That's why I'm giving you a little bit more insights about my personal life and just giving you more insights about plants in general. But let us go ahead and walk into paradise. Before we do that, let's take a look at this Christmas cactus. This one is for $39.99. That is a stunning looking Christmas cactus, and we shall now walk into paradise. One of my favorite plant nurseries to go to in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I probably need to be a little bit more frequent in my visits here, because a couple of things I want to highlight at Plants and Planters. Number one, and I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that Plants and Planters has the best hanging baskets of plants. You can see in just a second, I'm going to feature that. And they also have a lot of large monsteras. You can see these are actually monstera cuttings, semi-mature monstera cuttings, only for $8. So if you want to grow a monstera deliciosa from a cutting, I think that's interesting. Most stores, definitely big box stores, don't sell cuttings, but some local nurseries may sell cuttings. I do encourage that, especially if you're on a budget, to buy cuttings. And you can see right here, Scindapsus exotica. This one is a gorgeous hanging basket, and it's very rare that we see Scindapsus exoticas in this size. This is for $39.99. Really love these hanging baskets. These are 8-inch hanging baskets, and I have yet to see a Epipremnum aureum Enjoy Pothos hanging basket as lush, as trailing, and as full as this particular hanging basket right here. I actually bought one, Enjoy Pothos from Plants and Planters a while back. But if you want that trailing, beautiful, variegated Enjoy Pothos, definitely go to Plants and Planters. I believe these are only for $29.99. So when you think about it, if you go to like a big box store like Lowe's, Home Depot, or Walmart, and you want to buy plants, you can probably find a Costa Farms Exotic Angel hanging basket for $20.90, but I don't think Costa Farms has really released Enjoy Pothos. You may see Pearls and Jade, but Enjoy Pothos, if you're looking for those hanging baskets, you need to go to Plants and Planters. One of the easiest care plants to take care of, as well as this Scindapsus exotica. Again, this is again for $39.99, and I was really tempted to buy Scindapsus exotica. Like I said, again, I have been going over my budget when it comes to plants, but as far as quality and price point for Plants and Planters, I think Plants and Planters would be a place I would personally recommend to get plants, especially if you're looking for hanging baskets. I mean, let's take a look at this. So I just mentioned in a couple of videos of whenever I went shopping at a big box store for plants, Philodendron micans. Where do you find a large hanging basket for only $29.99 in 8-inch hanging baskets of Philodendron micans that's already trailing? Now, I know we've seen at a big box store, whenever you go plant shopping there, you'll find like Urban Jungle or Live Trends plants, maybe with a 4.5-inch ceramic hanging basket of Philodendron micans, but there isn't any nurseries out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that consistently has hanging baskets like the Philodendron micans. So that's why I always say, if you are looking for a specific type of plant, it's always good to go shop around, whether it's at a big box store or better yet, go into a small business like Pitas Planters, for instance, or a local nursery that's fully established like Plants and Planters. Now, when you talk about easy care plants, this is a it's J. Jewel Dracaena. That's another easy care plant, super underrated, but it's another plant I would recommend. And then obviously you can't go without a golden pothos or an Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Really nice variegation. And what I love about it is it is already trailing, and you can see the full potential of what a hanging basket could look like when you actually hang it. Now, I don't really have a lot of hanging baskets in my my home, just because I really don't want to drill too many holes in my ceiling, but I might need to do that considering look at how pretty these plants are. The thing about it is with these hanging baskets is they still need to try to get light onto the top of the basket. Otherwise, your plant will get a little bit bald. You can see right here, Philodendron heteroecium silver stripe. Beautiful plant again, and it is a nice and full one. This one is for $49.99. It's a little bit more pricey, but when you think about the size and how much it's already trailing, sometimes you want to go ahead and put out that money. I mean, $49.99 is not bad for that Philodendron heteroecium silver stripe. Philodendron heteroeciums in general, the heart leaf shaped leaf is a gorgeous philodendron. It is one of the easiest philodendrons, and you can grow it as a hanging basket, or if you want larger leaves, you can actually grow it up a totem pole or moss pole. That's another option to do. Staghorn fern hanging baskets. I mean, staghorn ferns, I think staghorn ferns are really stylish. I have yet to really get into that plant styling. You'll have to ask my friend Janae. She's amazing at it. And then you can see right over here, they have a plant stand right here where they have a Philodendron heteroecium Rio. This one is for $49.99. And that is another hanging basket I definitely want to add into my plant collection. I am on the era of just going back to the basics, finding plants that are going to bring me joy because their care is more of a basic need versus having to put in a little bit more work. So as far as like easy care plants, today I will recommend the philodendron heteroeciums, whether it's a philodendron heteroecium Rio. And it's really interesting how the philodendron heteroecium Rio has really plummeted in terms of the plant pricing. I remember when cuttings used to be like $50, and now you can get a beautiful hanging basket at Plants and Planters for $49.99. You can see there's a green marantha right here. And then if you're looking for an Epipremnum aureum snow queen pothos, which is basically a higher variegated marble queen pothos, this one is for $29.99. And I remember buying a even higher variegated snow queen pothos in the past from Plants and Planters. And you can see right over here we've got a Syndapsis exotica. But as I pan away here, this is one of their more easy care plant tables. You can see right here we do have some more hanging baskets, and that's the thing that really inspires me, is just the merchandising and plant styling at Plants and Planters. I mean, this is just the first couple of feet into the actual greenhouse, and I hope that all of our plant foldies, and if you are new to the channel, I hope you will stick around to the very end. There's some amazing plant finds at Plants and Planters, and I really do encourage everybody to shop local, shop small businesses, shop Plants and Planters. I have literally been buying and shopping at this nursery for the last 7 years, and I will tell you, their plants are just amazing. And what also makes this nursery amazing is just the people behind it, the family behind it. They've had this nursery for several decades, and I always have the most fun time whenever I get to just talking to my friend Shelly at the nursery. She's so knowledgeable, and she really does source out a lot of plants that are easy care plants. And this is a nursery, if you're an Aglaonema lover like me, you will find larger versions of Aglaonema for really good pricing. And I'm definitely excited to share that with you today. But as you can see here, this whole table is their popular table, because a lot of people will buy like an Epipremnum aureum marble queen pothos, for instance. This is in a 6-inch planter, and for those that are beginner plant lovers or just people beginning their plant journey, any plant that I'm featuring in this table is a great candidate to add into your home. This is a channel where I really like to steer you guys into the right direction in terms of easy care plants, because I feel like if you're able to let one easy care plant thrive in your plant collection, then you are going to be more inspired to add more plants. And that's the reason why I always say, start out with easy care plants. Start out with the basics. Don't inundate your plant collection with so many plants. I have, wanted to also mention that as far as the plants I've had this year, I am just super thankful that all of the plant foldies that, put in their insights in the comments section, give me plant advice, send me direct messages. All of my plant foldies that will send me photos of their plant finds at big box stores and steer me in a direction where I can film content to share with our community. There's just a lot of things that I can list that I'm thankful for, but as far as this community, I just want to continue to just say thank you, and thank you for watching this channel, and just really taking the time to invest in the live premiere chats. You already know plant foldies, the ones that are always on the live premiere chats right at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, maybe a little bit later, but there are some plant foldies that are really avid, loyal followers, and I really appreciate that. Now, as far as a Monstera Thai constellation, can we also talk about how cool their handwritten plant signs are? I love the fact that they have little tidbits about plant care, the plant name, and that's the thing about Plants and Planters. There's just a touch of personalization in all of their plants. I mean, you can see right here, Monstera Thai constellation. These are for $99 in 10-inch planters, but you can see that they've got some really large leaves, nice quality Monstera Thai constellations. And if you ask me if I would find a Monstera Thai constellation this size for a good price, like $99, maybe 5 years ago, I would say if you had like $500, maybe you might find something a little bit smaller than that. But it's just amazing to see that the plant market has made it a little bit more accessible for us to get more of these plants, especially the Monstera Thai constellation. The plants have become a little bit less pricey, but that doesn't mean that that plant isn't amazing still. I always feel like that sometimes whenever a plant's price goes down in value, it also equates to the plant being less valuable in a plant collection. To me, whenever a plant becomes even more accessible because the plant has become more price effective or cost effective, or the price is right, I think that's when the plant's value becomes even more elevated, because there's more people that can actually have access to the plant. And I did want to ask our plant foldies a couple of questions, and I hope you guys will leave it in the comments if you're watching this video. Number one, what are you most thankful for this year? And number two, do you also agree that whenever a plant's price goes down in value, does it make the plant even more valuable to you because you can actually access it? So I do encourage people, that's one thing that I do ask is, number one, hit the like button if you made it this far into the video, but also number two, please leave me some comments. I really enjoy just interacting with everybody in terms of just responding to everybody's comments. You know, this is a plant YouTube channel that I try to do on a daily basis to encourage that sense of community. But as you can see again here, I wanted to show you how gorgeous these Monstera constellations are. So I'm really glad that, you know, Plants and Planters is starting to get more of these variegated plants. Not that they haven't had variegated plants before, because as you will see later in this video, they do have some really nice, rare and uncommon plants. But I did want to highlight again, look at how gorgeous these Enjoy pothos are. And for my pothos lovers, if you haven't made it to Plants and Planters and you're willing to make the travel to Richardson, Texas, definitely do it, because $29.99, and you can see that these Enjoy pothos are already trailing. And there's several hanging baskets, whether it's philodendrons, pothos plants, even Hoyas, which we'll get to in just a little bit, go to Plants and Planters. But what a gorgeous and beautiful plant paradise. Would you agree? Please leave that in the comments and let me know what you think so far. A gorgeous Stramanthe Triostar for $29.99 in a 6-inch planter. I actually had one of these that I underwatered by a lot, and what I did is actually cut it back. I was gonna go compost it, but then it made a comeback. I just kind of grew it outside, and it is making a strong comeback. Right over here is a Scindapsus Silver Satin. This one is for $12.99. Really love that silver foliage. Again, with silver, you know, Scindapsus, you want to give them bright indirect light, water when the soil is about 50% dry. And that is about it. It's really easy care plants. And then obviously Marble Queen pothos. This one is for $10.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. A great starter plant. It is a plant that every plant foldie, if you are a viewer, should have in your plant collection. Same thing with the Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. This is only for $12.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. And we have a bunch of ZZ plants right over here. One of the easiest house plants to grow, probably the easiest, because it can tolerate really low light conditions and you don't have to water it. You want to just water it when the soil is completely dry. Now, this is a Churchill's Gold pothos. It looks like a Neon Queen pothos, so it's interesting how certain plants just have different names for it. This one is for $12.99, and it's probably one of my favorite new varieties of pothos. You can see that it is basically a variegated neon pothos. Now, to hold on to that variegation, you do need to give it quite a bit of light, bright indirect light, for it to really push out that variegation. Otherwise, it may revert back to a darker green color. But as far as the plants here, again, if you notice, all of their plants are curated, very clean, very healthy looking, very lush and full. And that is another reason why, if you haven't made it to Plants and Planters, or this is your first time seeing it, please come visit there. Please let the owners know, or the staff know, that you are from the Grow Folds YouTube channel. We want to get our community really supporting a lot of these local plant shop businesses. You know, when you support a small business, well, I would think that this is actually not quite as big of a small business, because they've got a huge nursery. It's just awesome to support these plants and the people behind it. You can see right here, Ficus elastica taniki too. That's a really nice size. And I'm just going to pan away again and show you all of these hanging baskets. I mean, let me know in the comments what you think. see that they've got several different plants to choose from. One of my favorites right here is a Tradescantia Nanook. Love this plant. I love pink plants, and this is one of my favorite Tradescantias. This one's for $14.99, and the reason why I like it a lot is because it is just one of the Tradescantia that have a little bit larger leaves. Super easy to care for plant. The only thing about it is you do want to give it a little bit more light, otherwise it ends up becoming a little bit more leggy. And if it does become leggy, you can trim it back, and actually all of the cuttings you take from the plant will easily root directly into soil, or you can do water propagates. And then also right over here, we've got $14.99 assorted different types of Rex begonias. And actually, whenever I think of Rex begonias, I think of another local nursery called Steve's Leaves. If you've ever wanted to buy some amazing begonias, you can also go to Steve's Leaves, or you can go in person right here at Plants and Planters and choose Rex begonia. Now, the thing about Rex begonias is it is a little bit finicky in a sense that you do not really want to get the leaves wet or the stems, definitely not the stems. You want to try to water the plant from the base, or you can do bottom watering, where you're basically taking a saucer, filling it up with water, and sticking the plant into the plant pot into the water for it to actually suck up the water. That's what I would recommend. Now, as far as Rex begonias, they tend to want to be more on the wetter side. You really want to keep their soil moist, and if you're able to provide higher humidity levels, they're definitely going to love it. What I love about Rex begonias is, if you can tell, they've got some beautiful metallic shine to it. And take a look at this begonia. This is a begonia Kingiana. Now, this one is for $22.99, and you can see that Plants and Planters has more uncommon or rare plants. And look at that that pattern there. Like, if I wanted to get a more uncommon or rare begonia, this definitely would be the one. It's got some really nice color on it, and when you touch the leaves, it feels like a peperomia watermelon or a peperomia owl eye. It's got more of a waxy feel about it. So that's another plant that could be part of my wish list. You know, it's really easy to go to a nursery as gorgeous as Plants and Planters and want to buy pretty much every plant you run into, because they're just readily available. $39.99 Aglaonema pictum tricolor. That is another plant that I finally ended up getting at Peta's Planters, which is one of my favorite plant shops as well in Dallas, Texas. Lupita got me one of those. And the thing about Aglaonema pictum tricolor, Aglaonemas in general are known to be an easy care plant. This one is a little bit of an exception. This plant is a little bit more on the more advanced level, or maybe intermediate level. This isn't a plant I would definitely recommend for anybody that's starting a plant collection, because it does require a little bit more humidity. It is a little bit more finicky of a plant. So I would, you know, if you want to buy the plant, definitely buy the plant, but just know you're going to have to put a little bit more effort into its care. This one is for $16.99. And I actually am tempted to buy this. This is a Dracaena White Jewel. Look at how gorgeous that that plant looks like, and it's only for $16.99. And this is another plant that can tolerate lower light conditions and can tolerate being underwatered or drought conditions. So easy care plant. You know, most people will overlook it, but when you really look at the leaves, it's got such great color and leaf interest. Same thing with Begonia Rex or Rex begonias. They have great, you know, leaf interest because of all of the patterns and even the shapes of the leaves. The only thing about it is with Rex begonias, like I said again, they're a little bit more of a challenging plant because they do require a little bit more care in terms of consistent watering, as well as, you know, higher humidity levels if you're able to provide it. Their leaves will start to really crisp up if you don't stay on top of the watering. It's a very thirsty plant, but in terms of watering, you don't also want to overwater it, otherwise you're going to rot up the stems. So there's just a fine line that you really have to pay attention to. So it's interesting how they have the Rex begonia right next to the Dracaena White Jewel, and my goodness, look at how gorgeous all of these hanging baskets are, and just all of the plants that are staged, very organized, open space to just wander around in this, you know, pretty much paradise, this jungle of plants. This is an Aglaonema tigris, and I was talking about all of these different type of Aglaonemas. Yes, it is more of the green Aglaonemas, even though some of us will be more into the more flamboyant, like colorful ones, but the green ones, these Aglaonemas tend to get larger. And then you can see again, this one is an Aglaonema pictum tricolor. This one's actually in bloom, but I would recommend cutting the bloom off, because if you're growing a plant for its foliage, whenever you allow it to fully bloom, there's so much energy spent for the plant to actually actually produce that bloom. So I would rather you just cut it, or at least I cut my Aglaonema blooms. And you can see right here, Philodendron Hederaceum Rio, and you can see that this one is really trailing. And again, it is for 30, I think it's $39.99 or $49.99, but look at how much it's already trailing. So if you're looking for a hanging basket plant for a very high area, look at that. That is, yes, it's just stunning. And look at this spider plant. Now, I don't know if they had this for sale. If they do, if I actually had taller like ceilings, I would definitely invest in getting a spider plant like this, because look at that. It's got so many babies, and the babies have more babies. And so it's just got so many generations of spider plants. I think that's awesome. I would definitely let it just keep trailing down like that. What an interesting plant. And you know, with the spider plant, it's got very narrow leaves. So there's a different type of display or leaf leaf presentation it has versus some of the plants. I will say I prefer plants with more round, robust, larger leaves, but the narrow ones can actually make a plant collection a little bit more stylish. Aglaonema Mary Ann, that's another plant that I want to buy today. This one is for $26 or $24.99. This one is in an 8-inch planter, and you can see that it's already really large. It's lush, it's full, it's green, it's easy care, especially the green varieties of Aglaonema. They're a little bit more vigorous in their growth. They're still slow growing, but not nearly as slow as some of the more colorful varieties. And then I've seen these right here in the past, Monstera Esqueleto. So if you want a large Monstera Esqueleto, you can go to Plants and Planters. I mean, look at the leaves, they're just massive, and the fenestrations are just gorgeous. And let's see how much that's not a bad price at all. And then you can see right around here, we have another table full of plants. This one right here, I'm actually a huge fan of, Philodendron Narrow Escape. Plus, it looks like they planted a spider plant here. So I don't know if this is actually for sale, but it is a nice combination planter. The Philodendron Narrow Escape, I do love it. It looks like the Philodendron Jungle Boogie. It is one of the more serrated type philodendrons, and I do want to collect that. My dream wish plant for that type of philodendron would be the Philodendron Caramel Marble. It is still a little bit pricey, so I'm holding off on that. Beautiful Peperomia Watermelon. That is another classic Peperomia. It's another easy to care for Peperomia. Same thing with the Peperomia Owl Eye. And the reason being is when you touch the leaves, they're very much succulent in the way they are very waxy and thick. As far as this plant, they're very durable. This one's only for $14.99 in a 4.5-inch planter. And so it's so easy to just go to Plants and Planters and, keep shopping for as many plants. Like literally you could probably walk away with over like 30 plants in a sitting, or just a plant thing. I'm definitely not going to do that today, but I am going to just keep showing you all of the gorgeous plants. Spider plant, can we just say how massive that is? It is so stunning. I don't think that one is for sale. If I were them, I wouldn't sell it, because it is one of those plants that I would consider as a statement plant. It is another example of when you allow a plant to actually grow through its full potential, it becomes such a statement piece. And that's the thing about plant collecting. A lot of us will most likely buy plants, but it does take time for them to get to these mature sizes. So you have to just exercise a little bit more patience. For me, I have really been buying a lot of Aglaonema. I actually have another shipment of Aglaonema from Indonesia, and I just can't help myself, because it's one of those things where you get involved in a situation where you want to just collect a certain genus of plants, and all of a sudden you have like 50 varieties. I always, mention that if you're able to slow yourself down and really just watch the growth of the plants you have currently, you're not going to be nearly as stressed. You're not going to be as overwhelmed. And, it's really nice that I'm at least off on Thanksgiving. I do have to go into work super early, tomorrow. But as far as like even having Thanksgiving off, I've been able to spend some time with my sister and her family. She came over for brunch. I was able to do some plant chores. I've been able to like really upkeep some of my plants, and it's a process. It's one of those things where I recognize that I bought a lot of plants and some of them I'm not able to stay on top of, but I made, little adjustments to some of the plants. Like for instance, buying plants that are easy to care for, like this Ming Aralia, huge plant. It's another plant that's easy to care for. And as you walk around here, gorgeous Ficus elastica ruby. And look at the coloration of these. And what I do like is the fact that they've actually got it to where it has several branches. So it's actually branched out. And to do that is if you prune your Ficus elastica or your rubber tree plants, whether it's the Ficus elastica ruby, Taniki, or burgundy, you can actually prune it back to where it'll actually encourage some more offshoots and branching. But like I said, again, we are in a gorgeous looking greenhouse right here. Look at that large white bird of paradise, for instance. And they have larger philodendrons. I mean, you can see right there, there's a bunch of philodendron boletiers, and that was another philodendron that was quite expensive a couple years back. But you can see you can actually get a large philodendron like this. Plant prices have gone down, which means we are saving a little bit more money on plants. Although I would say there's always a new release. So while some of these plant prices have gone down, we may end up spending a little bit more money on the new varieties. I'm really trying not to follow trends. And honestly, I don't think I really follow trends in a sense that a lot of the plants I like to grow are plants that people would overlook. Like for instance, Aglaonema. I cannot keep stop talking about Aglaonemas. I think everybody should get into them. And then you can see right here, they've got some of these Philodendron Brantianums on sale, hanging baskets of Philodendron Brantianums. Now, the thing about the Philodendron Brantianum is it can get a little bit leggy if it doesn't get enough light. And then number two, Philodendron Brantianum needs a little bit higher humidity. Otherwise, it can get browning on the leaves. It does have beautiful silver metallic shine to it, almost like foil. And you can see right over here, they've got some angel wing begonias. Now this table right here, these plants are not for sale. They do propagate in-house. So these are some of their plant propagations that they're currently working on. And that's the thing I like about local nurseries versus big box stores. Sometimes just seeing the process of these plants being propagated and really being produced in-house, it's awesome. This is an El Rubio Sansevieria. So if I'm going to add another large Sansevieria trifasciata, I would definitely get the El Rubio, because look at how variegated and how golden the color is of this plant. And this is another easy care plant. Highly recommend this plant if you want an easy care plant with very minimal care and can tolerate lower light conditions. I mentioned this in all my videos. And so if you are looking for care tips for plants, easy care plants, look for plants that are drought tolerant and low light tolerant. Both of these characteristics are within the Sansevieria, or this table right here, the snake plant. Super easy, and they have smaller varieties. These ones are the bird's nest Sansevieria, so they don't get nearly as tall. They get a little bit wider, so almost like a nest. These are for $16.99, and they have many different varieties of them as well. You can see they've got a couple of Croton Petras right here. You know, we go to a big box store, we go shopping in the month of October, and you will see tons and tons of Croton Petras. Now we're gonna walk over here and we're gonna take a look at these beautiful Ficus altissimas. So I love that it's got that yellowish green on green variegation. Now when I went on vacation to the Philippines, I've actually seen the Ficus altissima be a 30 to 40 foot tree growing out in full sun. Now, when you think about the Philippines, it's a Southeast Asian country, very humid tropical country. And, you know, these are where a lot of these plants would really thrive. And it's interesting how they do have larger sizes, but when you really see this Ficus altissima in the wild, it is massive. It is legit a tree. And unfortunately, at least in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where I am based at, my grow zone is 8B. There is no way we can grow that into the landscape and expect it to survive the winter. And honestly, I am a little bit concerned because I do have quite a bit of plants in my backyard, a bunch of coleus plants that I'm probably going to have to just take cuttings because I'm not going to be able to overwinter them. Temperatures have already started to drop, and you know, we need that. We need the temperatures to drop. If you live in Texas, even in Dallas, I mean, 100+ degree weather in the summer is brutal. And so I am excited for the weather to be cooler. And that's another thing I love about Thanksgiving, is because every Thanksgiving I've spent in Dallas, Dallas. It has had cooler weather. You know, I can go out there and actually walk around my neighborhood. It's super peaceful. And if you're ever looking for areas to live, I would highly recommend the North Dallas metropolitan areas like Frisco, Prosper, Salina, McKinney, North Plano, Allen. These are areas, these suburbs are really nice because it's nice and open. The houses are beautiful, and there's a lot of plant foldies that actually live in the North Dallas area. And on top of that, you will also find lots of big box stores and local nurseries like Plants and Planters. Can we talk about that massive hanging basket of Philodendron Hederaceum Rio? And that again is only for $49.99. So if you look long enough, you can find a really good deal on these hanging basket plants, and you can even find large sizes of Sansevieria. Now we already know Sansevieria or snake plants extremely slow growing, and to be able to find them in those sizes with that height, it's really awesome. I'm actually tempted to get one just because I want to put one behind my couch and just put it on a stool to give it even more height, because it would be easy for me to maintain. Aglaonema tigris, again, for $24.99. So, you know, the Aglaonema tigris, the Aglaonema Mary Ann, and the Aglaonema Maria look very similar, but you can see that their leaves, the leaf shape and the leaf pattern, there are some nuances that differentiate themselves. Polea peperomoides mojito for $26.99. So this is a variegated Polea peperomoides. You can see that there is that green on green variegation. This is a plant that I almost bought at Plants and Planters, but I ended up, you know, picking out some Aglaonemas that I will show you. But this is another plant that I may come back for because this is really an uncommon plant. It's not as super rare anymore, but I told myself if I am gonna buy a Polea peperomoides, I would find one that has variegation. And you can see that it does push babies, or what you would call pups. So as far as paying $26.99, you already know that if you grow it long enough, it's going to produce even more babies, in which you can either share with friends, maybe you know, do a plant trade, or even sell. You know, those are methods of which you can grow your plant collection and also make a little bit of money, or even save money on plants. But look at that right there, green on green variegation, $26.99. Love it. And I didn't even know they had this available at Plants and Planters. And that's the thing, again, with Plants and Planters, they really do strive to get a lot of these more trendy plants, uncommon plants, but they also have plants that are easy care. Truthfully, I love the easy care selection that they have as far as plants, but as far as, you know, finding something a little bit more uncommon, that's really fun to see. And you can see they do have some philodendrons here. So they've got a philodendron white wizard, or that's what it's being labeled, $24.99 in a 5-inch planter. It's got some really good growth there. The variegation may not be nearly as high, but it is a stable plant in terms of its growth. You can see that they're super healthy. And that's the thing about all of these variegated philodendrons. Back, you know, a couple years back, they were super expensive. You can see right here, Philodendron Pink Princess, $24.99. It's got some pretty decent variegation. And even though it doesn't have high variegation, I love the deep burgundy color on the leaves. And then we've got some more Philodendron Belitiae, and then they also have Alocasia. This is an Alocasia Purple Prince for $29.99. So I would assume this is one of the more uncommon Alocasias. Now, if you're going to big box stores like Lowe's or even Home Depot, you know, Proven Winners Plants has put out a lot of Alocasias, as well as Growers Bench or Wild Interiors Plants. They have a bunch of these Alocasias, but they definitely don't have the Alocasia Purple Prince. Really interesting plant. Alocasias are a little bit more challenging to grow, though. They do need higher humidity levels, and you need to make sure that their soil is consistently moist, not too wet, but moist enough to where they don't always go on dry spells. It's easier to grow Alocasia, though, in semi-hydroponic substrates. If you've been following my videos for the last month and a half, I have started to convert a lot of my plants from soil into lechuza pon or leca. Now, I really need to find somebody that can provide me some lechuza pon in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because unfortunately on Amazon, even though I was banking on maybe some Black Friday specials, lechuza pon is currently out of stock, and I don't really want to pay an arm and a leg for a bag. I don't want to spend like $80 on a bag because I'm having to import it overseas from Germany. Anyways, going back to the plants, you can see right here Especia, or what you call the flame violet. So I would see this as a Costa Farms hanging basket for $20.98, but I didn't realize that they actually bloomed as well, which I thought was a really cool feature to it. $59.99. We've got a Philodendron White Princess, and I am loving my Philodendron White Princess. I bought it earlier this year, and it is already getting pretty tall. It is about 4 feet tall. It's growing on a totem pole, and it is actually getting larger leaves, so I love that. Philodendron micans, that is another philodendron I would recommend in the plant collection, although it can get leggy, so you need to make sure you're staying on top of the watering. And then Hoya obovata, variegated. What I like about this one right here is it does have rounder, like oblong shaped leaves. Hoyas for me are super forgiving. I think they're probably the most forgiving plant when I really think about it, because I have, not watered a Hoya for almost a month and it is still doing okay. And then when you water it within 24 hours, the leaves just perk up again. And that's the kind of forgiveness I need from plants is, whenever I don't water them, that they won't just die on me. A plant like this Hoya, for instance, would be very, I would say, durable, very easy to grow. And that's another plant that I would recommend as an easy care plant. And as I pin around here again, look at this. They've got this more uncommon Hoya carrii reverse variegation. Now this one's a little bit pricey, $79.99 for a hanging basket, but look at how much of the plant you'll get. This is one of the more uncommon Hoya carrii. I've got the variegated Hoya carrii, but it's not the reverse variegation. And I also have the splash variegation Hoya carrii that I found both at Kroger for only $14.99. So even grocery store plant shopping is awesome, but whenever you are wanting to save money on plants, I mentioned this in all my videos, I really encourage everybody to, number one, watch my plant shopping videos, because then you'll get the most current pricing, since I'm always in a big box store or a local nursery in the DFW area. But then also just keeping your options open. And what I mean by that is, just because you find a plant as gorgeous as this Hoya Lisa, for instance, really look in your mind whether a big box store might have it for a little bit less, or a local nursery may have it for less. You cannot assume that big box store plant shopping is always going to give you the most bang for your money. Sometimes you will save money at a local nursery, because some local nurseries either propagate their plants in-house, so they're able to actually give you a lower cost for the plants, or they just have a bigger selection of plants that they can source out versus some of the big box stores where they tend to get plants that are only sourced out by major nurseries like Costa Farms or Proven Winner Plants, and there's some other plant nurseries that provide at big box stores. I will say, as far as the plants at Plants and Planters, they source out from many nurseries. They have specialists that grow certain plants. I already know that their hanging baskets, different hanging baskets of plants come from different growers. I know that they mentioned that their Aglaonema, for instance, they have a specific Aglaonema grower that they're able to source from, and that means you will always have that consistency in some of the plants and just the quality of plants you would get at Plants and Planters. Like, I'm telling anybody who is looking for hanging baskets, please leave in the comments if you will be able to find hanging baskets as stunning and gorgeous as this for the price point that Plants and Planters is asking for. And that's the reason why I encourage everybody to go to Plants and Planters, and no, they did not sponsor me for this video. I legit love this plant nursery. A lot of people will also ask me if certain nurseries pay me to say kind things about their nurseries. And for me, I am all about giving you my personal opinions about certain nurseries, certain plants, my plant insights. Plants and Planters, they haven't really sponsored me for any of these videos. I like to actually do plant shopping videos at local nurseries, because I truly believe that if you shop at big box stores and support local businesses, it's just really good for the plant community, because you get a little bit more diversity in the plants you get. Not to say that I don't like big box store plants, because clearly I love Costa Farms, I love Proven Winners, I love all of those big box store plants, but there is a balance between shopping at a big box store and a local nursery like Plants and Planters. So I'm just gonna walk around here and keep showing you some plants. Again, if you made it this far into the video and you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button for this video. It definitely helps me out. It definitely pushes this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, as well as, commenting and let me know your insights about plants and planters like Philodendron Summer Glory. And honestly, I was really tempted to purchase this because for $79.99, you are getting a really large, gorgeous Philodendron Summer Glory. And to me, that Philodendron Summer Glory, I feel like of some of the philodendrons, this one is also overlooked for some reason, even though it's got gorgeous satin leaves and caramel colors of the leaf when it first unfurls before it hardens. Monstera deliciosa, and then you can see right over here another white bird of paradise. And everywhere you turn, you can see that they have these little islands of plants. This is another philodendron I was tempted to purchase as well. This is a Philodendron glorious. So it's not a gloriosum, it's actually a hybrid of a Philodendron gloriosum crossed with the Philodendron melanochrysum. And for $49.99, that is an amazing deal. So for anybody that wants an instant gratification philodendron, like I'm thinking of my friend Steven, who is also part of our plant podcast called The Cultivation Corner. He loves philodendrons, and this would be one I would recommend because that's a really good price. $49.99 for already large philodendron with gorgeous leaves like that. That velvety texture is amazing. Now for the Philodendron gloriose or the Philodendron gloriosum, any of those philodendrons that have more of a velvety texture to the leaves, they are a little bit more spider mite prone. So you just need to make sure that you're staying on top of the pest preventatives. I always recommend spraying the plants down with either insecticidal soap, but I tend to like neem oil. I make my own neem oil spray, and I pretty much spray my plants 2 to 3 times a week to really keep the plant pests at bay. Somebody asked me, how do you prevent plants from plant pests from ever making it into your plant collection? I would say you do need to stay on top of just getting rid of dead leaves, because that also makes the plant a little bit more susceptible to plant pests. But also know that no matter how much plant preventative pest control you do, there always is going to be a chance that you will find plant pests. It's just a matter how urgent you actually address that plant pest problem. Aglaonema Moonlight Bay, beautiful plant. This one is for $39.99, and this is another plant in a 10-inch planter. It is one of those plants that you could potentially find at a big box store, but not the Moonlight Bay. You'll find the Silver Bay, you'll find the Golden Bay, but you will not find the Aglaonema Moonlight Bay, or at least I haven't seen it at Home Depot or Lowe's. That is another plant that I will be coming back for to purchase because, like I said again, if you are an Aglaonema lover, and I really need you to be an Aglaonema lover, plant folies, I'm telling you, it will change your world once you get into Aglaonemas. Plants and Planters, you've got to go here and buy your Aglaonemas. They've got large sizes, and if you're looking to have a large size plant that you can put in a dark corner in your home, Aglaonema is the plant I would recommend because it's easy to care for, it's low light tolerant, it's drought tolerant. Aglaonema stripes. So this is another Aglaonema that was you saw it often at a big box store. I haven't really seen Aglaonema stripes really at big box stores, but I'm glad that Plants and Planters, no matter what time of the year, will always have a large size Aglaonema stripes. Now let's look at the price tag here, $49.99. So it's a little bit more pricey than the Moonlight Bay. I like Aglaonema stripes because it does have a very clean metallic stripy look about it. And then also look at these Dracaena Janet Craig compactas. This is for $49.99. And when you think about that Janet Craig compacta Dracaena that you would find at a big box store by Costa Farms, you see how it has more of a mature look about it. Philodendron Macaulay's Finale, love this plant. I love that, it has that burgundy color whenever the new leaf unfurls and hasn't fully hardened. And that's the thing about certain plants. Most plants that have that new leaf interest makes it special. For me, having a plant that is mostly green is not a bad thing. I mean, you can see right here, for instance, Aglaonema Marianne, $24.99. I believe, is it $24.99? I definitely am purchasing one of these today. I think I'm going to get this one because I want one that is a nice green color. I have been getting a lot of these Aglaonema imports where they're these bright reds, pinks, creams, but I don't want to forget getting these gorgeous green ones as well because because when you think about plants that are mostly green, they're going to be a little bit more vigorous. They're going to be easier to grow because they have more chlorophyll. They have more ways to really photosynthesize. And it's a plant that's not going to be nearly as finicky. You know, my theme heading into 2025 is keep it simple. Go back to the basics, enjoy the current plants you have, and don't feel like you have to keep buying plants. Easier said than done, because clearly every single plant shopping video I've done, I've ended up buying a plant. But for every plant that I buy, I do have a routine around it or a plan to really make sure I take care of the plants. Now, if you're looking for smaller varieties of Aglaonema, like this Aglaonema Dazzling Gem, which almost looks like an Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah, $16.99 in a 5-inch planter. So if you need a smaller Aglaonema, you could go to Plants and Planters. They do source these out. I always tell my friend Shelly, because she does the buying at Plants and Planters, if she's able to source out even more Aglaonemas in many different sizes, I really think that that would really benefit a lot of us plant collectors. I would say even that Aglaonema Snow Spring or Spring Snow, gorgeous plant. And what's really interesting is it holds on to that white variegation or that white coloration, even though it's put in a low light condition. Syngonium Starlight, this one is also in more of an uncommon plant that I feel like has become common. This is for $29.99. Really nice plant. It is a little bit more of a finicky Syngonium, and it's definitely a much slower Syngonium. And as far as all of these plants, look at this. Hanging baskets of lipstick plants. They almost look like Hoyas, and then you could just see right there more hanging baskets. And that's the thing about Plants and Planters. Every time I go here, I am just always in awe of all of their hanging basket plants, but also their plant selection. You can see right here, Alocasia Jacqueline. I wouldn't really recommend Alocasia Jacqueline for a beginner. It is a tough plant to grow. I've sent 3 of those Alocasia Jacquelines to Plant Heaven. And then we have Philodendron Hederaceum Rio. This one is for $19.99 in a 6-inch planter. So if you need a Philodendron Hederaceum Rio, if you need an easy care plant, I would recommend that as well. I mean, look at how pretty that is. And if you give it more light, it's really going to impact the coloration, the striping of this particular philodendron. This particular philodendron's variegation is really influenced by the amount of light you provide it. And then over here, we have some ZZ Ravens. Really love that as well. And if you look further back, there is a row of Begonia maculatas. And then you can see over here again, let's pull this out, Raven ZZs for $19.99. Another easy care for plant. And look at how gorgeous those deep raven-like black leaves are. Love it. Love dark foliage plants. I feel like they're super elegant. And then we have some Begonia maculatas here. Love that as well. Although Begonia maculatas haven't done well for me in my care. Now, my grandmother, she can grow begonias as if there were weeds. Super easy for her. And that's the thing about certain plants. You know, maybe some plants respond better to other people, whether it's the environment you have in your home or maybe just the amount of time you can invest in the plant. For me, I'm just not able to really invest nearly as much time on the plants. And that's the reason why I'm looking for easy care plants like this. This is an Aglaonema Garnet Coltrane. I think that's how you pronounce it. Look at how gorgeous the pink stems are. And this is also for $39.99 in an 8.5-inch planter. And the thing about it is finding larger size Aglaonemas like this is actually challenging because a lot of local nurseries don't source out big plants like this. I know that Plant Keeper in Dallas, Texas also has large Aglaonemas, but if you want to find these colorful ones like this, definitely go to Plants and Planters. This almost looks like an Aglaonema Ruby, although it has more green versus the Aglaonema Ruby where it has a little bit more red. That would be another Aglaonema I will eventually buy from them. And then I already have an Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah, but look at how large this one is. $39.99. Look at all of the Aglaonema Sparkling Sarahs. It's a super full plant, and that's the only drawback about Aglaonemas is sometimes Aglaonemas will drop its leaves and become super leggy, but clearly this one has pushed out a lot of babies and it has become a super full plant. And again, Aglaonemas, look at all of the colors that they have on the leaves. These are plants that are low light tolerant and drought tolerant, and those make for a very easy to care for plant. And then I'm just going to keep walking around here and showing you all of these other plants that they have available. Again, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are hitting the like button as well as leaving many comments. If you have any questions for me in terms of plant care, what plants you want me to recommend, and any questions about plants and planters, leave that in the comment section. Again, I do respond to all comments in the comment section, and I honestly look forward to that. So for those plant foldies and viewers that really take the time to leave comments and share your plant insights, thank you so much. That really makes making daily plant shopping videos just worth the while, the community. Now this is definitely going to go home with me. This is a need. This is an Aglaonema Red Valentine for $39.99. I mean, look at this. It is a large pink plant, and you already know I love pink plants, and this one is super beautiful. Like, look at this. This is such a beautiful Aglaonema. I already know where I'm going to put it in my space. It's going to grow under a grow light so I can really push out that pink. But you know, pink plants in general, especially Aglaonemas, they're hard to come by in terms of finding them in these sizes, and I'm excited to see how much larger the leaves can get. It's very rare to find them in those sizes, and I'm glad that I was able to find one that is super pink. And I mean, this one right here is also an Aglaonema Red Valentine, I believe, but you can see that the other one is a little bit more pink. This one has more plants in it. This again is for $39.99, so that is really not a bad price considering you can get several plants off of this. Like if you really want to just buy it and separate it, you can probably get a dozen Aglaonema. And then I'm also going to buy one of these. This is an Aglaonema Snow Spring or Spring Snow, $39.99, but look at how lush, full, and white this plant is. It looks like snow has just dropped on it. And you know, when you think about it, these plants like this one would make such a good like seasonal holiday Christmas plant. Let me know in the comments if you agree, because I know that they have a bunch of other plants that pop up like amaryllis plants, Norfolk pine, but how about Aglaonema varieties that are a little bit more pink and red? The only thing about Aglaonemas is I would think it would be a little bit more challenging to mass produce them because they're such slow growers. But as far as this one right here, I mean, could you see this as being a holiday plant? Leave in the comments if you agree with me. All I know is I'm definitely going to buy the Aglaonema Red Valentine. Super gorgeous pink plant, as well as the white Aglaonema right there. Both of them can tolerate lower light conditions, although I would recommend for the more colorful Aglaonema that you provide it with more bright indirect light to really push out that color. But you can see this is a beautiful paradise, and I love that they have this little pond there, this little fountain, and all of these large Aglaonemas. I think of like my plant podcast friends, Janae Simone, as well as Steven. You already know that you need to buy this plant today. That is a common thing that we talk about in our plant podcast. And again, if you haven't already, please make sure you are subscribed to our official YouTube channel at the Cultivation Corner. Just do a search on YouTube to find our channel, as well as follow us on Instagram at Cultivation Corner. Our debut for our plant podcast, which I believe is going to be one of the first plant podcasts ever produced on YouTube, will launch on Monday, December 9th. So just a couple more days, about 2 weeks, under 2 weeks, at 7:30 Central Standard Time on my YouTube channel. The first 3 episodes are actually going to be debuting on our respective channels. So the second episode will be at Janae Simone's YouTube, and then Steven's will be the third episode at I Live Plants. So definitely be subscribed to their channels if you want to see all of the plant episodes, the plant podcast episodes, and then the other episodes will eventually go to the Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. So I hope I could ask all of our plant foldies to subscribe. It looks like we don't have as many subscribers. I am calling all of the plant foldies, all 11,000 of y'all, to go to the Cultivation YouTube channel. You can already hit the notification bell for the first episode, and you can start leaving comments in the comment section for all of the scheduled plant podcast videos. But anyways, going back to Plants and Planters, you can see right here, look at this, all of these gorgeous plants, and they even have this Epipremnum aureum, Snow Queen, Pothos, This one is another pothos plant that it's a little bit hard to come by. You can see some of the leaves did revert to more of a green, more like the jade pothos, but that one is for $39.99. I am also in my pothos era where like I just need to collect every single pothos. I recently treated myself to buying plants from Costa Farm's actual website. I got me a 6.5-inch hanging basket of Manjula pothos, and then I got another new variety of pothos from Costa Farms. But if you're looking for gorgeous hanging baskets, you've got to go to Plants and Planters. And I'm just going to keep showing you more plants. You can see we've got some bougainvillea right here, and there's just so many plants to pick from. It's kind of challenging to pick just one, although I have been really good about just not buying a lot of plants. Here is a philodendron ring of fire. This has become more of a common philodendron. Needless to say, it's a gorgeous variegated philodendron. And then we have this Dracaena tornado right here. Love that. Another underrated plant, but it's another easy plant, as well as this right here. This one is for $12.99. Super easy, and it's not going to give you a lot of problems, and these can get really large as well in time. It's a little bit slower of a growing plant. You can see right here, Plants and Planters also has a large selection of euphorbias, succulents, and cactus, hanging baskets of succulents and cactus. And so if you are a plant foldie or somebody that loves succulents and cactus, you will be able to find them at Plants and Planters. And I just love that they have that selection available, because I do feel like succulents and cactus may not be nearly as sought after as much as like the indoor tropical aeroids, those types of plants. But you can see right here, gorgeous string of turtles for $26.99. So a lot of their hanging baskets of succulents, really good price point, and they have a selection. I'm just going to keep showing you these hanging baskets of succulents. Leave in the comments which ones you like. If anybody has any care tips that they want to add into the comment section for these succulents and cactus, I welcome it, because I am still learning about the care for a lot of succulents and cactus as well. and for $16.99, I really love the variegated euphorbia of this one right here. And then also, I'm actually really tempted to get myself a mermaid cactus. I mean, this is more of an uncommon cactus, $49.99. It is a little bit more on the rarer side, but I love the color. Like, look at that, the edges of this cactus, that pink lavender color, and then also having that gray, really nice looking one. You know, that's the thing. If I am gonna get cactus or succulents, it's got to have a little bit more of a unique flair about it. I don't want to add too many because I feel like I don't have nearly as much light to provide it, and so it's one of those things that if I am going to add succulents into my my collection, it would definitely be something like a mermaid cactus. Now, I don't know how large this actual plant would get, so again, if you know anything about mermaid cactus, please leave that in the comments. The price point is a little bit high for me at the very moment, and I would understand because it is an uncommon rare cactus, but if it eventually drops down in its price, I may end up adding it to my collection. I think it's gorgeous, and it's just got a unique look about it. It's definitely another type of plant that could really strike up conversation. It does look like a mermaid's fin, and then you can see right here, variegated string of hearts. This is just smaller ones right here. I think these are the 2-inch starters. Really variegated too for this one. It is for $14.99. I do like the variegated string of hearts. I feel like even for a variegated succulent type plant, it is pretty vigorous in its growth, and it's pretty easy to propagate as well. So you can make multiples of these. It's really easy to take cuttings and literally just put it on top of some soil or sphagnum moss, and it will just easily root. So they've got the variegated string of hearts, and they also have just a regular version. With variegated string of hearts, what I've been told is you really want to keep it more so drought to kind of stress it out and just give it a little bit more of that type of drought stress. It will actually grow better that way versus being overwatered. You can see right there, that is a Madagascar palm, and then they just have their regular versions of string of hearts. But needless to say, they do have a really nice, extensive succulent and cactus collection. And then let's just keep taking a look at some of the other plants that they have in this gorgeous paradise that maybe some of you guys have never made it to. So I do urge everybody to go shop Plants and Planters. They have a great selection of seasonal items, all of those holiday decorations, as well as gorgeous plants like this one right here, variegated Alocasia odora. I mean, that size is fabulous, and I just wish I could grow something like this indoors long term. It would be very challenging for me just because I don't have that type of greenhouse setting that Alocasia would really need to really thrive. love how large this Pachira aquatica is. So if you do want a instant gratification plant where you don't want to have to wait to grow something that size, Plants and Planters has you covered. There are so many large varieties of plants, and the price points for the most part are really cost effective, as well as their hanging baskets. You know, I really do believe that Plants and Planters has some of the best hanging baskets you will find in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I mean, leave in the comments if you know of any other areas, but to get those Enjoy Pothos hanging baskets, I think they're the only ones that really provide that size for that price. Highly recommended. It's an easy plant. Love the variegation. I would say though, for Enjoy Pothos, try not to let them dry out completely for too long, because they will get very leggy very quickly. They will drop their leaves. I've seen it happen. And then you can just see that they have all of these gorgeous Monstera Thai constellations. While it has become more of a common plant as far as just being able to find it, the plant pricing really varies. I would say that large size is a pretty good price. And then you can just see, look at how gorgeous this is. Again, for anybody that is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or if you're traveling and you're going to visit Dallas, highly recommend going to Richardson, Texas. Go to Plants and Planters. Tell Shelly I said hello. Richie says hello. I encourage anybody that is in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and if you have access to it, to shop the plants. Let's support this amazing plant nursery. You will find some really good plants. I hope that I've been able to show you some really awesome plants. Go ahead and buy yourself an Aglaonema, that Aglaonema Spring Snow or Snow Spring, that Aglaonema Red Valentine are really good deals, considering that it's got such a large size leaf already. You can see all of these statues right here. Love that. They also do aquascapes and for landscaping, so you can also inquire about that if you want some landscaping services. That's something you can inquire with Plants and Planters. But as far as plants as well, you can ask the staff for any plant care tips. Super knowledgeable, because they have been in business for several decades. It's one of the oldest plant nurseries out in the DFW market, and I'm just happy to see that they are still in business. You know, they this was my plant escape, my escape from the pandemic. I remember going here with my mask on and just walking around and really soaking in that greenery. And you can see right here, that is the Aglaonema that I will be buying today. They have it front and center, so you already know that they pick the best ones to really display. Although all of the plants are really nice. You'll find a very healthy looking plant. So plant foldies, I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button. I hope everybody has had an amazing Thanksgiving so far. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Growfold. This is Richie. I'm thankful to have you, and y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Bye. Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Growfolds, and today we'll be local nursery plant shopping at Peta's Planters out in Dallas, Texas. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Growfolds. You can see that this is a beautiful morning at Peta's Planters. I love Peta's Planters, located out in Dallas, Texas, and I was able to get into the shop before they open. Peta's Planters is a place where I believe has some of the most amazing plants, and David and Peta are just awesome people. They allow us to film our plant podcast, the Cultivation Corner, and if you haven't already seen the first episode, here is a snippet of a reel of what you can potentially see for the plant podcast right here. Do you catch yourself like looking at social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, about what trending plants are there? So like, say there's like a new plant release, all of a sudden you already have all of these plants.
Exactly.
But then you want to go ahead and add that variegated Monstera or just some new release.
I'm much better with it now.
He has allocations. He's got an allocation.
He has the magic touch then.
Either the magic touch or
he has a
something.
poly.
He has a poly, an allocation poly. No spider mites. He doesn't
killed
really
that so
water it,
fast.
and it's in like a overlooked plants. They also have another common trait. They're cost effective.
Yeah.
The price is right for the majority of us, unless you're one of those folks that can, drop $1,000 on a variegated whatever
Which
Which
plant.
I could do that. A lot of the plants that we think are specialty plants here are technically not. And for those that tuned in to the first episode this past Monday, December 9th, really appreciate it. It was such a fun and interactive live chat, and we had almost 100 people watching our plant podcast live. So we really appreciate it. The second episode will be on Janae Simone's channel. So please make sure you are subscribed to Janae Simone's channel. It will also debut next Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We hope you guys will join it. But anyways, going back to Pitas Planters, you can see that Pitas Planters right over here is a small business. It's a business that has existed for a little bit now, and I've featured this plant shop quite often because they do bring in a lot of rare and uncommon plants. And even though the space is a little bit smaller, it is not a gigantic plant nursery by any means. They actually maximize every square inch of space at this plant shop. You can see that they've got some seasonally relevant plants. We've got some amaryllis there, and you saw that they had some bonsai with a little bit of a holiday flair about it. I also love the fact that at Pitas Planters, they have so many unique the items to purchase from, whether it is the handmade planters that Peta or Lupita makes herself. I mean, you can see right over here, look at those planters. Some of them are made from concrete, and then they also make 3D planters, which is what I will feature in just a little bit. But as you can see here, many plants to pick from, and I just love walking around this space. I actually came to this shop to pick up some plants that I bought a little while back from their Black Friday special, and they actually had a pretty good shipment today of some rare aglaonema, which I want to feature. That's something that a lot of people don't see often, especially at a local nursery such as Pitas Planters. I mean, you can see here, they've got some unique varieties of poinsettias. So a lot of pink variegated poinsettias that we will see during this plant shopping video of mine today. And then you can see that they have some easy to care for plants and some more unique items such as those Monstera bags. Really like that. And you can see this Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. This one wants to use the wall to climb up the pole. And, you know, with all of these climbing plants, as soon as it is pressed against something, it will want to climb. I mean, that's really the natural way of the plant's growth in nature. So it's always going to find a way to grow the way it's supposed to be in nature. And then again, we have some beautiful pink poinsettias here. I'm really tempted to buy more, even though for the most part, a lot of poinsettias are a little bit more challenging to grow long-term past the holiday season. And, you know, a lot of times people will grow poinsettias just as a decoration for about 2 to 3 weeks in the holiday season. Sansevieria hedgehog, one of the easiest plants to take care of. Those types of starfish-looking Sansevieria are probably the easiest plants to take care of. You don't really have to water them often, and honestly, I would recommend not watering them for at least 2 to 3 weeks, if that. And you can see over here, we've got a Dieffenbachia sublime. Now, when the Dieffenbachia sublime, this one is for $16. It can actually $14, sorry, $14. It can actually grow into a fairly large size plant. Now, with Dieffenbachia, you want to make sure that you're providing them with quite a bit of bright light. And if you're able to boost the humidity in that area, they're going to love it. But what a beautiful morning out at Pitas Planters. I mean, you can see right over here, we do have some pet-friendly plants. So what I love about Pitas Planters is if it has a paw, it will actually show that it is a pet-friendly plant. So you can actually shop with confidence at Pitas Planters for, you know, pet-friendly plants. This Pachira aquatica stump, which I prefer actually as compared to the braided one, is only for $14. And honestly, I should have bought this during my trip out at Pitas Planters. But you know, it's not like I won't go to Pitas Planters next week. I frequent this location as often as possible. And truth be told, it is probably my home local nursery out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is where I am based at. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome. I hope that you enjoyed this video today. You can see that Lupita has actually made a cute little 3D printed planter of a Bulbasaur. Love that a lot. And that's the thing about Pitas Planters is the planters part in their name, you can clearly see that they offer a lot of these unique and handmade planters. And for the Christmas shopping, for the holiday season, this is a place that you can get really unique planters for a Christmas gift. Like, look at this one right here. It's got a really nice stone in it. And these are, again, handmade by Lupita herself. And then you can see right here, it fits a beautiful looking Hoya. Now with Hoyas, if you're wanting to make them bloom, I read somewhere that you want to fertilize them and also increase the humidity to really get them excited to bloom. So I haven't gotten my Hoyas to bloom just yet. Maybe I should follow my own advice, but that's what I've read. And then you can see right here, look at this cute little snail planter with a Tradescanthia nanuk there. Love pink plants, and that just really fits the planter well. And that's the thing about Pitas Planters. If you want some unique and uncommon planters and plants, you should go to Pitas Planters. Like this one right here is a 3D printed planter. Look at how bold that royal blue is. Again, it also has a drainage hole and trays. Really love the look of it, and I don't mind the texture of that. And then look at this right here. This is such a cool navy blue planter. I love that woven braided texture. And normally I'm not about the braided textures or, just textures in general on planters. But when it comes to Lupita's planters, I just make an exception because they have that unique flair about it, as well as the fact that these planters are matte finishes. Like this one right here. Look at this unique Monstera planter. These are all made by David and Lupita. These are 3D planters. These were made in-house at the shop, and I actually looked at some of the process of it, and it is a pretty tedious process. I know that the blue one, according to David, took about a couple hours to make. So 3D printing isn't something that I'm really I guess verse at, but I find that it's interesting that a lot of people are getting into it to create some unique artistic creation. So you can see over here though, I love how the shop is just really nicely decorated, and you can see these amaryllis here. These large ones are amazing, and these are actually potted up in soil, so you can actually have them come back year after year. And you can see Pitas Planters. I could see that they've decorated the logo with some poinsettias. I love the fact that this shop is super cute, and if you want a unique experience where you can find very cost-effective plant pricing, really amazing customer service, and be able to walk away with plants like this variegated Pachira aquatica. And let me tell you this, it is the non-variegated form, and that's really uncommon to find, because typically whenever you find a variegated Pachira aquatica or a money tree, and this is only for $125, so that's even more cost effective typically than when you see the variegated Pachira aquatica. This one right here is just awesome because of the variegation, but also the fact that it is not grafted. Most variegated Pachira aquatica have to be grafted onto a rootstock, but this one is not. So I love that. If I had $125, I would definitely buy it. According to our plant podcast, is this a want or a need? Right now it's a want, which means that is a plant that you either need to save money for. It is a wish list plant. It's a plant that you can walk away from and just buy at another time. Now, if it is a need, which for me, Aglionemas are always going to be a need, you have to buy that plant today. Anyways, this is a Caladium Halo Beauty, and this one has several caladiums in this 6-inch planter for $24. I would love to be able to grow this long term, but this is another plant that is a little bit more challenging. And if you're going to grow this indoors long term, you're going to have to provide it with quite a bit of light and warmth, because the natural inclination is this caladium will want to go dormant. Caladiums go dormant in the colder months, and we are in the thick of late fall heading into early winter. At least the temperatures out in North Dallas are getting pretty cold. We're in the 40s, 50s, and then overnight sometimes they'll go below freezing. So some of these plants, if you're growing them outdoors, you definitely should bring them in or cover them ASAP. variegated strawberry begonia for $22, and this is such a cute looking plant as well. It's a pretty fast plant, and what I love about it is it actually grows vigorous and it will produce little babies for you to propagate. Begonia Harmony's Red Robin, this one is also a nice looking begonia. You know, I love the dark foliage of a lot of these begonias, and for this one right here, I figure that Rex begonias, as long as you stay on top of the watering, and if you bottom water them, they will be okay. We've got a Hoya right over here, and you can see that there is a paw sticker. That means Hoyas are actually pet friendly. So if you're looking for plants that are pet friendly, Hoyas are another one, and that's something I learned whenever I first went to Pitas Planters. But I'm just gonna walk over here and just show you how beautiful the natural lighting is. And you can see that over here they have another Alocasia. This is a new addition, Alocasia nobilis. Beautiful Alocasia. It reminds me of a more narrow form of a Alocasia poly. And you can see right over here, it is for $29.99. And you can see Pitas Planters everywhere you turn. There is a unique plant. There is a plant like this Montserrat Thai constellation. Look at that variegation. This one is only for $35 in a 4-inch planter. And again, with Pitas Planters, even though it is a small business, a small space, you can get all of the plants that you're looking for. I always tell, especially the local Dallas-Fort Worth plant community to shop here, because instead of going to an online shop and buying some of these rare or unique plants and paying for shipping, you can just travel to Pitas Planters and you can find different types of philodendron, Hoya, just any type of plant that you would feel like you have to buy online. At least you can just buy it in person and purchase. And I love this wall. I'm rooting for you. You already know that I am rooting for Pitas Planters. What's exciting is just watching this business grow. And so for me, being able to promote this this shop via my YouTube videos and really encourage the plant foldies to shop here, I always say that this should be one of our staple places to go buy unique and rare plants, like this philodendron golden dragon for only $22 in a 6-inch planter. Like, I am tempted to purchase that. That is such a good price for a lot of these plants, and that's the thing I want to stress for anybody that is possibly visiting the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Definitely drop by Pitas Planters. I'm sure you will find some unique plants. I mean, look at this right here. She has sourced out some rare and uncommon poinsettias. I love all the pink that she has in the shop today, and it just looks very seasonally relevant. And that's another thing I love. And I also love the fact that they have some really nice merchandising going on for such a small space. And you can see at Pitas Planters, we've got an Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah. Love that as well. And this one is only for $18 in a 5-inch planter. Now, you know, as far as Aglaonema, I would say Pitas Planters is probably the one nursery plant shop in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that is currently carrying a lot of different types of aglaonema, especially the rare ones that we are going to be looking at in just a little bit. But you can see right here, this is an aglaonema spring snow for $18. That's in a 5-inch planter. And as far as those aglaonema, again, they are easy to care for plants, low light tolerant and drought tolerant. So they're a little bit more forgiving if you don't water them nearly as frequently. Now, for the more pink varieties of aglaonema, you want to provide it with a little bit more light for it to really get the best coloration. But I will continue to talk about aglaonema just because it is a plant that I don't think gets the credit that it deserves. Philodendron heteracea Rio hanging baskets for $35. I ended up purchasing one of those today just because it is a plant that, it's kind of hard to source still, but, for that size and for that price, the price is right. And look at how gorgeous this amaryllis is. And you can see that the windows are fogging because it is a cold day out in Dallas. But to go to a plant shop early in the morning just to film before they open, I really appreciate that David and Lupita allow me to be in their space. They are some friends of mine. And like I said, again, just being able to take the time to show this plant shop or really get people excited, really get everybody all excited about the plants. That is just like plant therapy for me. That is the best way to start the day off, is to go early in the morning, to go to a small business like this and really just showcase some amazing plants. Like this Sansevieria hedgehog, like I definitely want to purchase this soon. I ended up actually getting a wish list plant of mine. It is the variegated Sansevieria starfish, and you can see right here again, aglaonema sparkling Sarah only for $18. And I'm telling you, plant foldies, please buy an aglaonema. Please collect an aglaonema. These plants are amazing. These plants are so easy to take care of, and there's so many varieties, and it's such an overlooked and underrated plant. And I'm really confused. I actually made an Instagram reel, and for those that are not following me on the Instagram, please follow me at Growfolds. That is the fastest and most direct way to connect with me. I love, messaging each other with plant questions and just plant insights. And if you made it this far into the video, plant foldies, please make sure you are hitting the like button. It definitely helps push this video out to more plant lovers like yourself. I'm really hoping that we can get to 12,000 subscribers soon, and just to grow this community. But as you can see here, there's so many cute little pink plants. I mean, I love the fact that she's got the variegated forms. Now, I believe these poinsettias are for $16. And again, with poinsettias, you can grow them as a long-term house plant. They will lose the coloration during the after the holidays, but there is a way to push that coloration back in time for the holiday season next year. You can see she does have some larger plants, but for the most part, she's got some really good sized plants, starter plants. They're about 4, 3-inch, and also 5-inch plants. But as far as just all the uniqueness that we're seeing here, Pitas Planters has it. For instance, we've got a Syngonium frosted heart, and I ended up buying one of these. These plants, this is more of like a variegated Syngonium chia pens. This one is for $20. That's not a bad price at all. And I just love the fact that she has unique plants. Again, I cannot stress enough that if you want to find like different types of unique plants that you won't typically find at a big box store, Pitas Planters is definitely the place to shop at. And for the holiday season, especially if you're looking for a unique plant to give as a Christmas gift, this is definitely a shop that I would recommend. I mean, you can see she's got a lot of different types of plants, and I'm going to go ahead and keep showing you these aglaonema. So this aglaonema, very red, which I ended up buying, is only for $15 in a self-watering planter. I ended up getting one of these and putting it in semi-hydro, lechuza pon, and also leca combination. And all of my aglaonema are actually going into lechuza pon and leca. And then you can see right over here, it's in one of their personal planters that they made, but this is a aglaonema ruby for $22. And I am definitely getting another aglaonema ruby. What a beautiful plant for a 6-inch planter. And look at just the veining and the leaf texture. It's just so beautiful. And then we also have a Rhaphidophora discordia right over here. This one isn't a bad price at all. And with the Rhaphidophora discordia, in order for it to really get that that fenestration, you must put it on a pole or moss pole for it to climb up. Otherwise, it'll just give you the juvenile leaves. And then you can see right over here, we've got a beautiful large Macaulay's Finale in a 6-inch planter. And then we also have anthuriums, Anthurium magnificum. So, you know, a lot of shops will not sell anthuriums, but as you can see right here, if you are in your anthurium phase, and let's take a look at the price. That price is $75. That's actually a really good price for that. You can go to Lupitas to get it. And if you're looking for a Monstera deliciosa Aurea that's grown in-house, this one is $155. This is actually a prop grown by Peta herself. You can see that there's got some really good variegation on this Monstera deliciosa. It's got about 5 leaves, so that's a really good price as well. I mean, honestly, if you're looking to give me a Christmas gift, I wouldn't mind taking a Monstera deliciosa Aurea. And you know, we talk about the holiday season. Literally, it is about 12 to 11 days from Christmas Eve. The topic of conversation is, do we give plants to people that don't grow plants? And are Christmas plants or Christmas gifts great? You know, are plants, house plants, good Christmas gifts? For me, I do love any type of plant. And you know, any gift that somebody gives me, I will accept wholeheartedly. But if you know, my family were to ask me what kind of gifts I would want, honestly, I prefer big box store gift cards, you know, big box store Lowe's gift cards, especially because that'll feed my my plant addiction, my plant budget. Over here is a Philodendron beneficillum splash Gordon, and actually I've been looking at this plant for quite a while. This is another one that I would buy, and it's only $65 or $35. That is not a bad price at all, again, for a variegated Philodendron violin. Basically, that's essentially what it is, and you can see they've got some white princess Philodendron right over here on this table, and then we have some Begonia maculatas. We've got some more Aglaonema right here. I believe that is a sparkling Sarah in a beautiful planter. And we've got some Philodendron Ring of Fires as well. Now, this one right here, I think, is the last of the Mohicans. This one right here is a Alocasia Mickey Mouse. Look at how gorgeous this is. And I just love that it is a variegated form. It almost reminds me of an Alocasia Stingray. Now, I have mine growing in semi-hydro substrate in Lechuza Pond, and it's actually doing very, very well for me. You know, these plants are beautiful, but they're also challenging to grow. You need to give them a little bit more bright indirect light. Humidity is a must, and you need to stay on top of the water. But for $20, that is not a bad price at all for that plant. And you know, the lighting in Pitas Planters is just amazing in the morning. And you can see right here, look at these poinsettias. These are variegated ones, and these are only for $16. I have 2 poinsettias already, and I'm really not trying to add as many poinsettias because, number one, poinsettias need to stay a little bit more moist. So like, they do not like to dry out completely. And then number 2, they do require a little bit more light in order for them to really thrive. So as far as poinsettias, they're a little bit more of a challenging plant to grow long term. Now, Peperomia obtusifolia, this is a very durable plant. This is only for $13.50. Beautiful plant as well. One that I feel like is also overlooked and underrated. And then let's just keep walking around here. So we've got more Aglaonema. So this Aglaonema right here, I believe, is an Aglaonema Etta Rose. Even though it is also known as the Aglaonema Pink Princess, I think Etta Rose is really more fitting for that plant. And then we've got an Aglaonema Golden Papaya. And you know, as far as Aglaonemas, these are all 6-inch planters. They're only for $22, and I believe that is such a good price. You can get a Trending Tropicals Aglaonema that same price for about $19.98. But for me, if I had to choose between big box store and local nurseries, especially a small business like Pitas Planters, I would definitely choose to buy this Aglaonema here versus the big box store, because number one, these plants I believe are going to be taken care of long term more so than a big box store. And that's not anything negative to a big box store. You already know that the majority of this plant content I do is big box store plant shopping videos, but In terms of a small business like this, I already know the care that they put into these plants. There is a lot of care actually that's put into these plants. And I have to really commend, David especially and Lupita for really taking the time to take care of these plants. The watering regimen that they have, the pest preventatives that they have, you can shop at this store with confidence and know that you're going to get a very healthy plant. Whale fin sansevieria. This is insane. Look at how large they are. These are such cute snake plants. And I already have a sansevieria whale fin that I've been growing for years, but that is a pretty big plant. And then let me just pan away here and just show you how beautiful this shop is in this morning, this gorgeous morning right here. I filmed this Tuesday morning and I just love it so much. Now over here, you can see that we've got some more serrated philodendrons. These are the philodendron jungle boogie. And, I love philodendrons that are serrated like this. Beautiful plant. And then look at all of these planters that Lupita herself has created. That Bulbasaur right there on the far right is cute. And then we've got some more uncommon Hoyas as well. You can see that right here. It is another uncommon Hoya. And I haven't gotten fully into my Hoya era, even though I would say Hoyas are super forgiving and super easy. We've got a Haworthia right here in a super cute little planter. Really love that as well. And you can see that as far as Peta's planters, she's got a beautiful color story going on. She's got a lot of pastels, got a lot of neutral colors, and I find them very modern as well. And so if you're looking for a handmade planter, definitely recommend going to Peta's Planters. Now, I would say for somebody who grows plants, planters are great Christmas gifts. Like I have this one in the gold yellow form, but I really like that minty green one she has as well. And these are planters. All of her planters actually have drainage holes. And you can see right here, Epipremnum aureum, Shangri-La. So this is actually a Taruna World Japanese pothos. That was one that I am still looking to get, and it's already trailing. So I really find that interesting. And then you can see right over here, we have some more plants. That's the thing about going to Peta's Planters. I will always end up buying a plant. So, I'll go here with the intent of just filming, but there is no way I can leave without going to buy a plant from Lupita, because she sources out plants that I believe can become just needs. And I love that. I love going there as well. Now we're about to go approach the main event, and that is the rare Aglaonema that Peta has sourced out. So this is an Aglaonema Pink Panama, and I have the Pink Sunset, but I don't have the Pink Panama. This is for $35. I am going to buy one of these today. That is definitely a need. And even though this is the main event, maybe according to myself, maybe for others, they may not be into Aglaonemas, but look at how gorgeous this Aglaonema Pink Panama is. Now, all of the Aglaonema I'm going to show you. If you are an Aglaonema collector or somebody that wants to start buying Aglaonemas, definitely buy them at Peta's Planters. I would say these are Aglaonema that are not really found in the US market as often unless you buy it from Etsy, or if you're going to import them. These are, Aglaonemas that are typically found in countries such as Indonesia or Thailand. And so just being able to find it in a small business like this, like Peta's Planters, is awesome. Like, look at all of that pink on this Aglaonema Pink Panama for $35. And whenever I look at all of these Aglaonema, I have to just call and invite Janae Simone and Stephen at I Lift Plants. Please make sure you are subscribed to their YouTube channels. They are the other hosts on the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast. We love Aglaonemas. I love Aglaonemas, and I think anybody who watches Growfold's plant shopping videos should be into Aglaonemas. I mean, how do you not like plants like this? How do we not talk about these plants? And, we talk about plants becoming trending and popular. I just feel like utilizing my platform on YouTube, maybe I can help push that a little bit. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have Aglaonema, if you've grown to like it because of me talking about it pretty much at every video. I just really want to know if people have added it and how it's grown for you you, I have more than 40 plus varieties of aglaonemas, and honestly, I have another 17 to 18 aglaonema going to reach me in the next 2.5 weeks from overseas. Now, this one, aglaonema orange, some bought for $40. That is an amazing price considering if you buy this for a US seller off of Etsy, it's in the $80 price range. And the thing about these aglaonema is these are aglaonemas that have been growing in the United States for a pretty good while. So these plants are acclimated. These are not plants that are just brought in import, that were imported. And you can see this is an aglaonema orange sambat. Now, I am definitely going to buy one of these today, and what I love about it is it's got a really nice reddish tone about it. But if you notice, this aglaonema has rounder, more robust leaves, so that is definitely a need for me. I need to buy this plant today, and it is going home with me. But look at that morning light, and the thing about it is I will definitely buy the plant. I bought these plants actually, and we'll put them in semi-hydroponic substrates. I will put them in a combination of lechuzapon and leca. And then this one right here is a gorgeous aglaonema pink emerald. So this one is another gorgeous aglaonema for $40, and that is a great price. Like honestly, some people will say that for a plant it might be pricey, but for the rare aglaonemas, that is an amazing price because you will pay about 60 to 70 for this rare aglaonema. But going to Lupita's Planters, you can pick up and the plant and choose which one you want. Now I already got one from Indonesia, but again, it's one of those things where any aglaonema, I don't mind having multiples of. I don't mind having a dozen of the same aglaonema because they're just so pretty. Like, look at that. Like, how do you not find aglaonema, something like a plant like this, even super popular? I know that a lot of people will get into like the variegated monsteras, philodendrons, but aglaonema, we all need this. Maybe some people aren't into the colorful plants, but how do you find a plant that's this colorful, this beautiful, this low light tolerant and drought tolerant and not want to buy it? And even though it is a more rare plant, $40 is not a bad price. Asking price, considering these are plants that you will not find typically at a big box store for sure, or even the plant shops out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This one is an aglaonema tricolor Anyamanie. This one is for $35, and even though I have one already, I am going to buy that one as well because I do like the look of it. This is a beautiful aglaonema. Now, Costa Farms Trending Tropicals has just the pink variety, but this one has the white splashes as well. And I remember this plant being super expensive about 2 years ago. Something like this would be over like $150, but this one has some really unique coloration. I like the tricolor coloration. And again, as far as care tips for aglaonema, you want to make sure that you are providing it with bright indirect light, but if you have to put it in a lower light condition, it will do okay. Water when the soil is 100% completely dry. Aglaonema do not like to stay wet in soil long term because it will easily rot the roots. And as far as that's basically it. So like that is a plant that is low maintenance and will give you such beautiful coloration. And this morning I am just thankful that Lupita was able to get these aglaonema. Now I think it is her first time actually sourcing them out. So hopefully Plant Foldies, you already know there's a lot of y'all out here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Go ahead and buy yourself an aglaonema. Let's support Peta's Planters. Tell them that you are a Plant Foldie, and let's encourage Peta to get more of these rare aglaonema because she says that there are some more rare varieties she can source, but it really depends on her sales, and I don't blame her. Monstera mint. So if you want a Monstera mint, and I know that my follower Plant Foldy Empty Nest on Instagram, you were looking for this. This one is $165, and it's a good starter Monstera mint. That is another Monstera that is on my wish list. I do have the Monstera White Monster that I was able to get a cutting for from a friend of mine, McGuire. And, you know, as far as these plants, like this Monstera Burley Marks Flame, that is another wish list plant of mine. These are starters for $95. I mean, it's still a little bit pricey, but I just feel like certain things like this, I have to hold off a little bit because of the plant pricing. But I mean, you can see right here, this one is already starting to establish. This one is another Monstera Burley Marks Flame. Now this one is a little bit more pricey. It's not $95. This is $115, but it's also because it's already put out a little bit more growth. But you know, if I had to choose this versus the Aglaonema, I mean, look at that. Those Aglaonema just really have beautiful coloration, and it is one of those insane topics that I feel like, you know, plant lovers just are not talking about Aglaonema. And so if you're going to watch this channel, I'm going to be a little bit more obnoxious about talking about Aglaonema. But as you can see here, that morning light, I don't mind getting my vitamin D just walking around Pitas Planters and just really showcasing her plants. Look at this amaryllis again. I mean, both Peta and I started talking about these plants that we were obsessed on, and amaryllis and even the pink poinsettia she was able to source are really plants that we love looking at. And you can see over here, look at this little shelf full of plants. This one is a Hoya carrii inverted variegation. So I love Hoya carrii. Hoyas in general are so forgiving, so easy to care for, and they are pet friendly. So if you have a cat or a dog, you won't have to worry about the toxicity of the plant because they are pet friendly. These are for $32, and we have some more plants right over here. This is a cryptanthus, and I really love the fact that cryptanthus looks almost like a bromeliad, and I love that that coloration on it. This also reminds me of a more colorful version of, say, a snake plant or sansevieria. There's different varieties of them, and those are plants I wouldn't mind adding to my plant collection. But again, you know, it is a topic I discuss in a lot of my plant shopping videos, and that's really how do we grow plants or grow a plant collection without it making it be a cluttered mess. For me, I've become a little bit more curated in the approach of my plants, so that's why for the most part I've just really I really just consider myself more of an Aglaonema collector, with a couple of exceptions of Syngoniums and Monsteras and some Philodendron. But for the most part, the majority of my plant collection moving forward at this current state would be Aglaonemas. I am constantly trying to source and import out Aglaonemas, or I could go to Pitas Planters like this and find some amazing plants like this Aglaonema Red Siam, for instance. I definitely need that. I mean, this is a common Aglaonema you can find at a big box store. Now these ones are for $16 in a 5-inch planter. That is a good price as well. Aglaonema Spring Snow right here, also I believe for $16 by Pitas Planters. And that is another one that if you want an easy to care for plant, a plant that starts your journey, a beginner plant, a plant for beginners, definitely get these Aglaonema. And then look at this right here, Aglaonema Sparkling Sarah. I need to go back and purchase this because even though I have one already, I wouldn't mind putting it in another semi-hydro substrate called Lechuza Pon or Leca. And at the end of this video, the second part of this video, I will show you how I transfer my plants, my Aglaonema that I'm buying from Pitas Planters in semi-hydro substrates, as well as using one of my favorite plant products, Weed the Wild Neem Oil Protect Spray. I love it so much. It's going to shine up the leaves and really make it beautiful. And then you can see right here, she's got a lot of propagation stations. All of these plants are in-house propagations. Now, I'm not sure if she sells these cuttings. I'm sure that she would if you ask, but I'm rooting for you. That's very iconic. And what I love about this shop is, and you know, as far as my plant podcast that I'm part of, the Cultivation Corner, this would be one of our like home studio homes. This is where we will film a lot of our episodes because the lighting is amazing and we get free props. Like all of these plants right here, super cute. And again, plant foldies, if you are going to visit the Dallas-Fort Worth area, definitely check out Pitas Planters. Definitely tell them that you are a plant foldie. Say hi to them for me. And Wow, just a beautiful morning just looking at all of these plants. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you made it this far into the video and you haven't already, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. I would really appreciate it. It is a huge help, and I don't have any shame asking for that like, because it does help grow this channel and push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. But what a gorgeous looking shop. One of the best plant shops out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I want to just continue to see Peta's Planters grow. Both myself, Janae, Simone, Steven will spend all of our money here. We always find need plants. And, you know, it's because they have all of these gorgeous plants that you can pick from. And even though this space may seem a little bit small for those that are expecting like large nurseries, I'm telling you, every square inch, every corner, you will find a plant that you want to bring home and just add as a part of your collection. So I don't know, let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you've actually bought plants from Peta's Planters, what plants you want to see her source out. I'm just glad that she was able to get some more rare and uncommon aglaonema. That is a need for everybody, not just myself. We need to buy it all. Buy all of the aglaonema. Let's go ahead and sell it, because look at this right here. This corner, I've already picked out the aglaonema I want. I feel like going here before store open. I pretty much skip the Black Friday line to get some of these rare and uncommon plants. I mean, look at this aglaonema ruby. All of these aglaonemas I will be moving into semi-hydro substrates. Even though they will grow in soil, I just feel like it just gives my my plants a little easier plant care when they are in semi-hydro. And I mean, you can just see right here all of these gorgeous plants. You have to go to Peta's Planters, and I'm going to show you the process of me converting them to semi-hydro substrate. So you can see that I've already washed out the soil and cleaned out the soil off of the plants till now they are in my sink, and you can see that I am disinfecting and cleaning with neem oil. Even though I already know that these plants are healthy, what I like to do is right after I wash out the soil completely, I like to spray it with my DIY Foldy Mist Spray, which is basically a neem oil spray that I use to clean the plants. What I like to do is I take a conventional spray bottle like this, and then I take 2 tablespoons of cold pressed organic neem oil that you can do an Amazon search and purchase, 2 tablespoons of rubbing alcohol. You can choose between 70% or 90 strength. You can get 2 tablespoons of hydrogen peroxide, 1 drop of dishwashing soap. Put it in the spray bottle, fill it up with water, shake, 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 and you've got a a organic looking or just an organic mixture that you use for your plants. I use that. I spray all my plants, the tops of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, the undersides of the leaves, the top of the soil substrate if they're still in soil, or in this case after taking them out of soil to move in a soil substrate. I like to wash the roots with it as well and let it sit on there for a good 4 to 5 minutes just to kill any potential pests, any potential eggs that plant pests have, especially if you're moving them in semi-hydro, because you won't always have that opportunity to really clean the roots. Sometimes the roots are the ones that actually harbor the actual plant pests, but that's basically it. I'm just like spraying them down, and you can see how gorgeous this aglaonema ruby is. For those that don't know how to convert into semi-hydro, this is so super easy. What you want to do is take the soil substrate out of the plant, literally wash the soil away, try to get all of the soil off. So you don't really want to have any type of soil remains, because that could potentially rot the roots or encourage that kind of rotting. And as far as the semi-hydro, you want to get self-watering planters. Some people will put them in a vase, a bowl, but I like to use self-watering planters so that way I can lift the plant and do actual washes and rinses. So after I clean the plants up and then I actually let the neem oil sit on the plant, I like to wash it away, and I definitely want to wash the roots thoroughly away, so that way that these roots do not have neem oil or alcohol or any of that nature when the plant sits in its substrate. So you want to make sure that you are really washing and rinsing out the roots especially. Now, if you leave the neem oil on the plant, that's fine. That's actually a good thing. It'll give it an extra protection of a layer of protection for a lot of the plant pests that could potentially infect it or bother it. So that's what I do as far as that. So I'm just going to keep showing you this process, I'm just really rinsing them out completely. And I will show you how I pot them up. And now that the plants are completely rinsed and cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and put them in lechuza pond. So this one right here, I am actually going to pot up in a 5.5-inch self-watering planter that I bought from Amazon. Look at how the roots are. And you know, the thing about it is whenever you buy aglaonema from a store, whether it's a big box or a local nursery, as soon as you get them out of the soil substrate, you can see that the roots are very viable. What I like to do is I like to put a little bit of, first of all, you want to make sure that you have a self-watering wick placed in there, kind of pulled up to the middle. You want to get some leca, and then I put some pon. I want to try to stretch my pon out because lechuza pon right now is out of stock at Amazon, and so mixing lechuza pon and leca will stretch out the substrate. I mean, obviously lechuza pon is the better option, but for me, honestly, I could get away with just using leca on all of my aglaonema, but I want to use pon so I can give them the more premium semi-hydro substrate. Again, this is for my orange sombot. What a beautiful plant. And you can see right here, I'm trying to shake up the planter to get all of the air bubbles, in between the roots filled. And that's basically it. That's how you pot up your aglaonema. That's basically how you would pot up a plant in soil substrate. There's really not a big difference, but I just love the fact that I won't have to worry so much about watering this aglaonema because there's going to be a water reservoir at the bottom with some nutrients, water for it to suck up. But that's basically it. You can see that I am smacking the side of the pot to really get these the lechuza pon packed in there for the roots. And so that's basically an easy process. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep potting up the plants, and I keep showing you this. I know that I typically do big box or plant shopping videos, but I want to show you some of my plant care and what I do to pot up my plants, to water my plants, all of that, because I feel like a lot of y'all want to see some more of my personal plant collection. I know that you haven't really seen my houseplant collection, and I'm hoping to do a tour someday, but at least you'll know what plants are making it into my plant collection. Like this aglaonema orange sunbot, I had to definitely buy it. If I had to choose all of the plants I would pick, if I only had to pick one, that would be definitely the one I would pick. Now this aglaonema ruby, I am going to plant in a 6-inch planter because obviously it is a larger one. And the thing about aglaonema is you don't want to put them in really, really large pots. This has a really good root system for how big it is. And this one, I'm going to actually use mostly leca because this is just a plant that I feel like I can get mostly leca. So I'm going to finish off this bag right here, and the rest of it will also be potted up in leca with just a little bit of lechuza pon. I'm going to use the lechuza pon as this layer right here. So I'm going to place this down, and then I'm going to put the lechuza pon down right over here. and we can see what that looks like as far as just getting the roots really packed in. So let me know in the comments what you think and what you think about this plant right here. As you can see, if you have any questions about, semi-hydro substrates or just plants in general, especially the aglaonemas, let me know in the comment section. I love the engagement you guys give me. And if you haven't already hit the like button, please hit the like button for this video as I do this as well. Then you can see right here, I'm taking a little bit more time to make sure that the substrate is really packed in. But with this particular aglaonema, it is absolutely stunning. And I just love the fact that I got it for $22 at Pitas Planters, and it's a really good price. Now, this one right here is the aglaonema tricolor Anyamani. And this one right here is a little bit leggy. So what I do whenever an aglaonema is a little bit leggy is I like to plant it down further into the pot. So that way it will encourage more growth from the actual legginess. And I'm going to use a lot of the lechuza pon. I just have a little bit left, but I would rather give this one, since it's more of a rare aglaonema, the best semi-hydro substrate. Not to say that leca isn't, but I mean, lechuza pon, it's just phenomenal. It is such a good substrate. And, it looks like I lost a little bit of a root there, but let's go ahead and plant this up further down into the pot. So a lot of the roots are going to be right underneath the planter reservoir where I can get that water from it. But you can see right here, I'm putting a little bit more leca. Just after I put the lechuza pon, I'm going to put a little bit layer of leca to stretch it out. And then I'm going to put some lechuza pon. Let me know in the comments if you mix leca and lechuza pon for your semi-hydro. Super excited again to get this. And we're just going to pot up this plant. It's super easy and simple. You can see that I'm just smacking the side of the pot. So that way it actually moves the substrate in between the roots, and it really packs it down for the plant. can see right here, we've got the pink Panama. Love this as well. And even though it doesn't have a lot of roots, I am very confident that this plant is going to establish, the thing about it is, so I am converting these plants right into semi-hydro substrates. The thing about it is, I would expect that maybe it will lose a leaf or two. There is a transition process. Some people say moving some plants into semi-hydro, they will just acclimate and that's it. But to me, realistically, I already know that some of this plant may lose a leaf or two because there are a couple of factors. Number one, whenever you take a plant from a substrate that it's already growing and it established, there's a level of stress that's added to the plant. Whenever the plant is stressed, it's going to lose some leaves. That's just naturally what happens. It's kind of like human beings. Whenever our immune systems are a little bit more compromised, we kind of decline a little bit in health, but we're able to recover. That's the same thing with moving plants into semi-hydro, but I would say long term, it's going to make the plant, at least for me, easy to take care of because I don't have to water it as much. Even though aglaonemas literally are drought tolerant, or at least more drought tolerant than the typical plant, I just like easy to care for plants because then I am more confident about having, eventually over 100 aglaonema if I choose to source out that many aglaonemas, because then I don't have to spend all of my time watering the plant. I can spend more time being mindful and actually looking at the plants and really enjoying their beauty. Now, after you get all of the plants potted up in your semi-hydro substrate, so some people don't always pre-wash the substrates. And honestly, I would not recommend doing it under your sink because the sediment could actually settle into your sink and like clog it up. But as soon as I get it, I'm going to actually wash the sink and use my my garbage disposal to take care of that. But I like to pre-wash and just really wash and water the substrate. So like right now, all I'm doing is really giving it a good soak, giving it about a good 30 seconds to a minute soak on each one to really clean out the substrate. That way, all of that dust and soil doesn't really settle at the bottom of the water reservoir. Not that you would really see that, but I don't know. It's just for me, I feel like just getting the roots really soaked wet will really help. And then also after I do this, I'm going to go to the next step, which is basically watering it with a very diluted nutrient solution. So that's very important, is you want to make sure that your nutrient solution is super diluted. That way you can give it a little bit of a boost. And as far as the nutrient solution I create, I use a gallon of like a gallon mixture of Fox Farm boomerang. Is it boomerang fertilizer? I use like literally a trace amount, and I use Super Thrive. Super Thrive is another like a substance that I like to put into the nutrient solution. It is B vitamin. It really helps with stress, plant stress, and just really recovering them. So whenever you do a repot, I would recommend using this type of nutrient water. And eventually I will mix a nutrient solution for the actual water reservoir, because if you put them in semi-hydro, water alone isn't going to be enough to give them the nutrients they need to really grow big and just become even more beautiful. I mean, all three of these plants that I got, Pitas Planters, these rare aglaonema, are stunning. That aglaonema or ensambat again is just one that I am really happy to get, but all three are amazing. And you can see that I've watered them now, and they are now the final step is to really spray them down with neem oil spray. So I'm actually spraying them with the Plant Foldy Mist spray, just because it is my DIY spray. I do have the We the Wild Protect Neem Oil, which will be the final part of it. I spray my plants liberally with a lot of neem oil because it doesn't really hurt the plant. I will say, if you're going to put neem oil on them, you don't want to put them under a grow light or a lot of light for at least 24 hours for the plant to absorb. But you absorb, and then you can see right here, this is the final aglaonema right here that I'm gonna go pre-rinse and then water with nutrient soil, and then also spray down with neem oil. And then I will do the final step, which is actually use the We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Spray. You can buy it from wethewild.com, and you can get their products. Their products are amazing. The plant products, I would highly recommend. They're organic. and they are they were a small business, and they are growing at a substantial rate because of the quality of products that they have. And then you can see over here nutrients, water for this beautiful Aglaonema ruby. And then you can see right here, Aglaonema or Ensambat. So this is actually right after they've been sprayed down with the Foldy Mist neem oil spray. What a gorgeous looking Aglaonema. And then we also have an Aglaonema Pink Panama. Love this as well. Gorgeous pink Aglaonema. I love it a lot. It's one that I would recommend buying at Pitas Planters. Aglaonema Ruby. This was only for $22 in a 6-inch planters. It's now in a semi-hydro substrate. And then Aglaonema Tricolor Anyamanie. Beautiful Aglaonema as well. And all 4 of them are in semi-hydro. Super excited. It wasn't really a stressful process to get them converted. And you can see right here, they also now have nutrient water in their water reservoir with the wick, so it's going to water them. I'm hoping that they will transition well, and I'm hoping to get even more Aglaonema. So that's something you will see a lot of. That is something plant foldies you will see in this channel, is whenever I do like unboxing videos from imports that I get from Indonesia, or if I go big box or plant shopping and get Aglaonema, know that they're going to go into semi-hydro. I am really converting a lot of my plants to semi-hydro substrates because they're just a lot easier. I mean, you can just see right here, look at how gorgeous this is. And I'm just going to spend some time showing you this, and then I'm going to show you the final product, where I also show you the 4 other Aglaonema that I sourced out and I put into semi-hydro from Amazon. Like, can you believe that Amazon has live plants that you can buy, and Amazon actually has plants at a really affordable price? So that's something I'm going to show you at the very end. Now, as far as the plant care tips, again, for Aglaonema, what I would recommend is honestly giving them bright indirect light if you can. You can put them in lower light conditions, and if they're in a soil substrate, please do not water them frequently. Only water them when the soil is completely dry, and you will have amazing foliage like this. Look at how gorgeous the pink stems are as well. And this one right here, this Aglaonema Ruby, is mostly in leca. So plant foldies, as far as what you've seen in the video today, what do you think about the Aglaonema I chose? Would you buy these Aglaonema? And if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, have you gone to Pitas Planters and bought up the rare Aglaonema? Leave that in the comments. And if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are hitting the like button. Like I said again, if you really want to support me, if you love my videos, if you want to see me continue to do daily plant shopping videos, please make sure you are hitting the like button. Leave as many comments as possible. I will definitely respond to each and every single one of your comments. That is something that brings me a lot of joy. And even though the holiday season for me has been very stressful, one thing that has been consistent, and that is the joy all of the plant foldies, our plant community on this Grow Folds YouTube channel has given me. So I do appreciate that. And then I'm going to go ahead and pan out one more time and show you the results of using We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Spray. So what I did is I actually sprayed it with that. It has a beautiful look about it, and then you can see that is it right here. I would recommend everybody watching this video to buy this. It is organic, it kills pests, it prevents pests from making it, and it makes your leaves super shiny. I also got the microfiber gloves to clean it. So what I did is I sprayed the tops of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, and then I used my hands to rub that neem oil spray in. And you can just see that these plants now are super shiny, super gorgeous. And that's what I'm talking about, a more curated plant collection, when you actually take the time to manicure the plant, clean the plants up, style the plants, put them in the planters you want, and also display them in a certain section in your home. But that We the Wild Neem Oil Protect Spray, you definitely want to purchase that. It is one I would recommend. And you can see right here all of my Aglaonema, they're absolutely stunning, and I find it insane, I find it crazy that we're not going over and buying every single one. Look at that leaf right there, that really dark red tone on that Aglaonema Ruby is stunning. And for me,
even if I may be the only person, you guys might be watching my videos and just being really polite to just entertain Aglaonema. But even if I'm the only one who loves Aglaonema, I don't mind sharing my love and passion for it. You know, when it comes down to it, plants should bring you joy. We should not follow the trends of plants. And if this means that these plants are a little bit more underrated, underappreciated, but if they can bring me joy and maybe bring you joy, I would recommend getting Aglaonemas, especially when you use that leaf shine protect neem oil spray. I mean, look at this. This is an Amazon Aglaonema I bought, Aglaonema pictum tricolor. I got a 4-pack only for $44.97. This is an Aglaonema super white, for instance. They all came in 5-inch planters, and they are in leca. So I chose the more common Aglaonemas to be in leca since I ran out of lechuza pond. If anybody has lechuza pond they want to donate to me, or you can source out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, send me a direct message on Instagram. I would love it. And then you can see right here, this is an Aglaonema pink Valentine. Love my pink plants, love my Aglaonemas, and I'm hoping that for those that have stayed all the way through this video to watch it to the very end, I really appreciate it. I'm really trying to show you more than just me doing point and shoot and commentary of big box stores. Hopefully you like the plant care tips content and just showing you what I do with my personal plants. I mean, you can see right here, I have really enjoyed being able to get these plants and then manicuring them with the We the Wild Protect Neem Oil Spray. I love it a lot. I would love to get more of that available for you. But as far as my Aglaonema, you can't tell me that these plants are not gorgeous. I know that Janae Simone and Stephen of I Lift Plants would really agree with me. And again, if you haven't watched our Cultivation Corner Plant podcast, definitely check that out. And then next week's second episode will be on Janae Simone's YouTube channel, so be sure to go to hers. And then the third episode will go to Stephen of I Lift Plants. But as you can see here, what gorgeous Aglaonema, and I got them for really good prices. And that's the thing about buying plants, is they always have to be, you know, the price has to be right. The price has to be cost effective. And if it's not cost effective, it definitely has to bring you a lot of joy for you to shell out that type of money. Again, plant foldies, please hit the like button, hit the like button for this video. I really enjoyed showing you this video today. And then also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Grow Folds with all, and I mean all, the notification bell on. I'll see you on the next one.